Power shots in round 5. Diaz 7 out of 45. Manny Pacquiao 27 out of 56. Emmanuel Stewart, the layman, not all that familiar with boxing, would look at Diaz's face and say, how can he be allowed to continue under these circumstances?
Yeah, because he is a world champion, and they do stop it between rounds, but I'm a little bit kind of disappointed. I thought that it would have coagulated a lot better than it has at this stage, but it seems as soon as the bell rings, he goes out and starts bleeding as if they didn't put anything on it.
Well, Jim Strickland's got a lot on his hands, trying to stop 2 bad cuts and try to talk his fighter through the fight at the same time.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. You know, where normally when he's just a cut man, it's different because he concentrates entirely on the cut, but he's trying to talk all the way through the fight. I think Jim is actually a pharmacist by trade too.
Action slows momentarily in round 6. They trade jabs to the center of the ring. Again, the dramatic hand speed advantage for Pacquiao, quite visible. Despite everything he's taken, David Diaz still willing to lunge forward, looking to land 1 shot. He's not exactly a power puncher either.
Watch ahead, watch ahead. Let's go.
No way Diaz will quit. He's totally willing to go out on his shield. So that puts pressure on the referee and medical authorities to be sure that they protect him in the right way.
Because you can see Pacquiao is really concentrating on dropping those shots right on that eye to it. He's landed a tremendous left cross right on the eye, and he's seems like loading up trying to lift power punches now.
Pacquiao's not a sadist. He's a sportsman at heart, but he will do what has to be done, which is to continue to go after the damage he's already done to David Diaz. Diaz has to be earning the respect of the crowd as he continues to fire resolutely in round 6. And the Pacquiao storm once again continues. A tsunami, a hurricane, a tornado. Incomparable ring violence for this era in boxing.
The cut seems to be a big factor in this. Actually,
ring doctor says he's okay. I'm sure that Diaz would agree. When he beat Eric Morales last year, he did it with his right eye swollen up like a tennis ball, completely shut.
But one eye is swelling and the other one is bleeding, and they haven't seemingly stopped the flow of blood. And as soon as the bell rings, it starts bleeding right away again. It's a big factor in this fight.
Halfway through, they touch gloves in sportsmanlike appreciation for each other.
Here. Here we see Pacquiao throwing punches in such a volume, and they're all coming from different angles. He's mixing up, and that's why it's so hard for Diaz to stop the punches, because he's not just throwing 1 punch or 2. It's just the speed and the variety of punches is just too much for him.
Well, a perfect line of expert commentary there between rounds by Diaz. Close. I can handle his punches. He's just too fast. That's the story of what's happened so far. Harold Letterman, how do you have it through 6?
6-0, 60-53, Manny Pacquiao. Maybe I'm being a little bit more generous than I should be. I think there's a lot more 10-8 rounds mixed in there somewhere. But Diaz and Benjamin, I got to point this out. He's cut over the right eye. Initially, that cut was caused by an accidental headbutt. If this fight gets stopped, that cut is being made worse by legal blows. If the fight gets stopped, because we're beyond the 4th round, they'll go to the scorecards to determine a winner. But certainly, Pacquiao is way ahead on the scorecards.
Normally, we look at Pacquiao as such a power puncher. Now he's a crafty, technical boxer in this fight.
And let me just reinterpret what Harold said. What you're saying, Harold, is that he can't win the fight strictly because of that cut, because he didn't cause it with a punch.
It'll go to the scorecards, it'll win. He can't win it on a TKO.
That's correct.
Whichever way it goes, he's going to win this fight unless they end up with another disqualification.
combinations.
Break! Watch the hold. Watch the hold.
To the degree that boxing can be a demonstration of supreme violence mixed with artistic brilliance, that's what Manny Pacquiao is providing tonight. David Diaz keeps plugging away. He wasn't as fast as Zab Judah in 1996 either, but he somehow got that done. He wasn't as fast as Armando Santa Cruz 2 summers ago in Chicago, but he somehow got that done. His career will never be compared with that of the great Eric Morales, but he somehow got that done. So don't tell David Diaz he doesn't have a chance.
Watch the hold. No holding.
He doesn't believe you.
Break! Watch the hold.
And incidentally, lest you think that Pacquiao may have no other talents besides what he shows you in the ring, he's currently enrolled in college courses back in the Philippines. When he goes to class to sit in a college classroom, 5 armed bodyguards have to wait outside the building.
Plus, he says when even in class, he spends more time signing autographs than he does doing homework or studying.
The teachers, like the students, scream and shout when he comes into the room and asks to have their picture taken with him. The way for a slower fighter to deal with speed is to try to interrupt the action and make the faster fighter fight when he doesn't want to. There hasn't been a moment in this fight when Manny Pacquiao didn't want to assault David Diaz. So it's very difficult for Diaz to find any moment at which to make a statement. He's gotten in some body punches, but mostly he's taken big shots.
As he said, when he told Strickland about 2 rounds back, he just can't handle the speed. And I think that's a good way to sum it up. It's too much of speed.
Well, we wondered if Pacquiao would look any slower at 135 pounds than he did at 126 and 130. And Emmanuel, I think the early returns may be made a little bit more dramatic because of the absence of speed from the opponent. If anything, he looks faster.
He looks faster, more natural, looks stronger. All the way down, much more devastating. Soon this fight's going to have to stop pretty soon. The referee's going to have to stop the fight.
Diaz gets in a good left uppercut of his own. Fires a straight jab, comes forward to make clear, I'm still a fighter, I'm not going to go away. But at this point, you worry about how badly is David Diaz going to get hurt by continuing to take punishment in a fight where he's not going to go down, not going to get knocked out. He blocked a lot of those shots. Sometimes the knockout is a merciful event.
Yes, because right now, even when Diaz throws punches, there's no power. He just pushing and stumbling and falling in. But there's no power. So it's just a matter of time before he gets knocked out, unless the referee or the corner stops the fight.
And if the kind of mercy that puts you on your back is not going to take place, then it's up to the referee and the medical supervisors at ringside to deliver mercy on their own.
Yeah, I think the referee's getting in position to stop the fight now. He's looking entirely strictly at his eye and his face. So he's getting in a position and his mind is functioning on stopping the fight now.
Increasingly on the defensive, Diaz has less and less to offer as the 8th round goes on. The crowd has gotten its money's worth. The crowd has seen the show they wanted to see. Manny Pacquiao has made his statement. There isn't much reason beyond a few moments like that for this to keep going forward. If ever you knew in advance that if things got bad, an opponent would be too brave for his own good, you knew it tonight.
Yeah, I think the corner should stop the fight. It would be a graceful way to end it, but it's over for all practical.